asked Nigel if I looked back and he said it's frozen, so.
Oh, come on.
Seems to be working.
And Nigel said no. What?
All right, so Amber was saying we'd move each year, the fourth Monday following the annual town meeting will be reserved for a select board workshop dedicated to a new member onboarding and discussion of the chair and vice chair positions to the section below. And then move the induction of a new board member will occur on or around July 1st to allow time for onboarding and deliberation regarding leadership roles would also move into the section below, right? Do I
Yeah,
understand?
yeah. So I would even scratch each year because, I mean, the fourth Monday of June pretty much says that you're going to do it
Okay.
on the fourth Monday of every June.
Is there always 4 Mondays in June though?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So.
I'm just saying.
It will always be that one time.
I'm
Right.
like, yeah, now I'm like, okay, yeah, next year there's going to be 3 Mondays in June and we're going to be like, what are we
Yeah,
going
but
to do
that's not
now?
gonna change because we took out the words each year.
I know,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that I think that was the only thing. And then I thought, do we want to talk about changing that in the charter? Because if the charter says that
It says your
Yeah.
first regular meeting. And a regular meeting is your Monday
Like,
meeting.
not the
Yeah,
workshop.
first or third.
It just says,
No, I know it, but that
But
would
they
be.
would be, yeah, we would always have one regular meeting before July, like,
how do I
Yep.
read it?
We talked about this for a long time.
We
at
did.
Charter.
I know,
No, at
we did-
charter.
yeah, we did talk about this for a long time.
Because we were like, what makes the most sense?
Mhm.
You remember, Dave?
I do.
You remember all the conversations,
Yeah.
don't you?
And we thought we were like, okay, yeah,
We were
this
like, yeah,
is-
we got
got
this.
this.
And then now we're here we are being like, let's do this
Let's
again.
change the
We don't-
charter.
Yeah, it just says at the first regular meeting following the annual town meeting.
Yeah, so I don't think we can do this.
Okay.
So
Well,
we
this
have-
is where I was like, the person staying on till June 30th was like throwing me off. Because then I was like, if they're on and the other one hasn't been sworn in, I don't know.
That's why we have to swear, that's why we do swear the other one in at town meetings, so that they're there for the next.
But the point of the
Regular
workshop
meeting.
is to onboard them before they get sworn in. So it
Mhm.
gives them a sort
But
of like
doesn't the
a,
workshop happen before?
well, we also
Mhm.
talked about
Meeting?
switching. So instead of doing the regular meeting the third Monday, we'd switch it to the fourth. So maybe what we'll do, you can change it. Instead of the fourth Monday, it would be the third Monday would be reserved for the workshop. And then the next following meeting would fall on the fourth Monday.
For the month of June.
So to make that work.
And so just announce it now, so you're covering all your bases.
Right.
Like declare it in here,
Mhm.
but that's what June's meetings are gonna look like.
Right. So it's very clear. Every June's going to be your one wonky month out of the year where the meetings are a little skewed.
I think that would work.
Yeah,
Okay. So I would change fourth to third. And then it says,
and so they do get inducted or sworn in at town meeting then, still. Right? Because the charter.
it's up. Yeah, you could.
Because the
do
charter
that,
says they're
'cause-
in,
Well, actually,
at that
no, we
next meeting,
went
right?
through this and the charter just said they just get it. It doesn't say that they get inducted at town meeting.
no, but it does say, read that part again about the next meeting, right, in the charter. Where it says when they're elected or appointed.
Doesn't it kind of hurt your brain?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I've been involved in all of the pieces of it now, and I'm just like, why did we do this? We thought we were so smart to remember that.
We did. Oh, yeah. We thought we
We solved all the
yeah,
problems
we
for
fixed
everyone.
it.
Well, I think the idea of a person staying in their role after town meeting and like waiting for that induction was to do the workshop and the onboarding to help
Mhm.
kind of just pass over things. So
Yep.
that
Okay,
you guys plus the new person would all be part of that workshop.
correct.
And then once that's done, you could, go your way and the other person would be inducted.
To my way of thinking also, it was to eliminate the mad rush for nominations and whatnot, the way it has happened over the past 2
Yes.
years. I don't know, it just seems like an odd way to start to me.
So this 3.1.3 elections and term board members shall be elected for a term of 3 years on a staggered basis in accordance with the town's operating fiscal year. So her fiscal year is July
July
1
1.
to June 30, commencing with his or her taking an oath of office and terminating the swearing in of his or her replacement. So if we don't swear them in at town meeting, then
Which is fine. I'm on board with that. But what did you just read about the next regular meeting after the election or something like that?
I think that's
The chair and the vice chair are elected.
That's in the code of conduct.
That's the 3.3 in the charter,
Oh,
which I
That's what
just
I'm
copied
saying.
and pasted it over to your code of
okay.
conduct.
Okay.
But yeah, the chair and the vice chair are voted at least 3 members by affirmative vote at the first regular meeting following the annual town meeting.
Yeah, so if we.
So we don't have to wait till July 1st. We just don't have time for the onboarding.
Yeah, we were trying to
Stuff.
fit in there the workshop
Right.
and
I know that we talked it over and whatnot.
But if we do what you said, change the 16th from the regular meeting to the workshop,
right.
we could do the onboarding and then make the
The following
23rd,
Monday, the
is
fourth Monday, yeah.
to make that when the workshop was supposed to be, make that our regular meeting.
So then let
And
me
then
just,
that would-
and so they get sworn in between that and the board member at that regular meeting, right?
They could be
Is that what I'm
sworn in
saying?
at the workshop, right? I mean, they could be sworn in anytime after.
Well, you have to be sworn in by the clerk. So if
So
she
it'd have
was
to be
here,
after,
it would have
yeah.
to be before. I mean, they could be sworn in at town meeting because then your next meeting after that's a workshop. So you
Mhm.
could do the onboarding, handle all the communications and hash things out. So like that board member
Right.
who's offboarding they could participate if they want, or maybe they don't want to.
Yeah.
And then your regular meeting, you've already had that conversation to kind of deal with the who, the what, how, and all that
Right.
stuff.
Mhm.
So maybe we could just keep you're sworn in at town meeting, just for continuity.
Like I care enough. I'm gonna come to the workshop. Right,
It's a
like,
workshop. I mean,
I love workshops. I say that you watch a softball game get scheduled, but anyway, yeah. I
I'm just
think-
trying to make it a little less confusing. So then really all June is just your third Monday is a workshop and your fourth Monday is a regular meeting. You just
Mhm.
flip it.
Is that going to screw up anything with the warrants and whatnot?
I don't think so because they'll already be sworn in. So then
Yeah.
that fourth Monday. Oh, by changing it to the fourth.
Yeah, and just with the, like,
So what if you, instead of having a workshop, have a regular meeting for the purpose of onboarding and doing the warrants, and then have the fourth meeting being when you vote the chair and vice chair, just throwing it out there. I don't know.
So
Well,
then still
does it
stay
mess
and
up
be
We'd
the
have to,
chair.
we'd have to,
You have to have a chair.
yeah, we'd have to do the chair and the vice chair
Okay.
first.
It'll only be a week.
So it's just
So I think we'd be fine because we pay all of our regular ones in the first week of the month. All of our contractual agreements.
Here's another thought, and I'm speaking as the person who's leaving, so feel free to be like, no. But
this is payback
But-
for what we just did to her.
no, I did the Friday workshop. It's fine. So what if you do the workshop at like 5 or something and talk about all of that and how it's going to go, and then you still have your regular meeting at 6 with just a lighter agenda, right? Knowing that it's just done that way there, the bills and everything stays on schedule.
That's a
And it's
good
literally
idea.
just for the purpose. Then you don't have to get into this like
Mhm.
3 weeks in a row or whatever. Like, and it's just literally like, okay, here's the first meeting. It's super light, and it's okay. We have a chair. We have a vice chair. We're paying the bills. Like,
Do you think an hour would suffice for like just onboarding? It might. 'Cause
I think it's
really-
just general terms, and then it's not like after that, everybody's gonna be like, okay, no more questions, you're in, and that's what's
Right.
done is
Yeah.
done, good luck. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's not like
Fingers,
that.
ma'am.
No,
But, like, it just kind of puts everything out there, like, hey, this is what we're doing, and here's the thought process, here's the binder or the book or whatever the heck we're handing out these days.
Well, and then I think if you have it documented, like in your code of conduct, so like anybody, like say in the future gets appointed, it's not a surprise. Like, what? I gotta show up at 5 o'clock for a meeting,
Right.
You know?
It's just a thought. I just don't think it needs to be like a
Yeah,
whole
no, I think
separate.
that- Yeah, I think that would work too.
no, that would
Either
work, because
option.
really,
Or
I mean,
5:30 and start the other meeting a little later. I don't know. I just,
could do 5 and 6:30.
Usually what I do is I'll do like when I post it, such and such workshop at 5, and then the regular meeting will follow.
right. Like when it
Because I
gets
know
done, it's
that way.
done, right? Because then if it's done
Yeah.
early, then maybe you can just bang it out.
It's
early.
actually a good idea.
So on this
It's a good idea.
meeting, the person who's offboarding would like be done at that point.
I think the person who's offboarding is like kind of just technically done at town meeting if they get sworn in.
Yeah,
and-
the other one gets sworn in. then
Yeah, once your
yeah.
successor is
Yeah.
sworn in,
Yeah.
your term's all
I
done.
mean,
Right.
ideally, you're creating a board that cares enough that the person's gonna want to be there
Right,
to answer
yeah.
questions or whatever. And if they don't, then okay, bye.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think of anything else that might need to be clarified.
Yeah.
So I can rephrase it and bring it back to the next one, the next
Okay.
meeting,
Yeah.
because I'll have to.
So I
Yeah,
just,
that's
I
a
read
little-
that about 10 times and I was like, I don't even know what I'm reading. So-
I read it once and I liked it. I was like, oh, this is
Oh,
awesome.
I was like, this is great. Wait a minute.
That's cool.
I'm staying on for the end.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Well, that was part of
Shows
what
how
we talked
closely
about.
I read that part.
But,
What up?
well, we tried to
I
slip
remember
that.
you saying sorry when you get to that part. All right. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Alrighty.
That was
Okay.
the only thing I had on that one.
Any other things while we're talking about it? I say I don't have any, but now I'm like, what else is hiding in here?
We doing the planning board bylaws?
Yeah, is there anything else on the select board code of conduct before we send Lindsay on her way with it?
So I'll just reword it and throw it back on the next
Good.
agenda, and then
Because that's the only change to it, right? Well,
Oh, there was another one on that.
page 1. I didn't have a problem with any of that.
Yeah.
all right, so
Then again, I didn't have a problem with any of it.
All right, we're all good to move on?
Yeah.
All right. So then the next item, planning board bylaws and mission statement. So I know we had gone through it. We implemented some changes. Lindsay sent those over to the planning board. And I know last meeting we talked about it, and I don't know that we wanted to make sure they had ample time to look at it. So I don't know, Lindsay, if you heard anything else from them.
I haven't heard anything from them, so I sent them an email twice, and I didn't get any feedback from
Okay.
anyone directly to me. So
How much did they change to what we had suggested the wording?
I think that's
I
the
didn't
point.
compare one by one.
We sent the wording and they didn't do anything with it, right?
right, so it was right. Yeah, we sent them. Here's the suggested changes and some. I put some notes. The copy I gave them was like some notes on like why or
Which is what we talked
Yeah.
through at our meeting.
yeah, and then if you have any questions or comments, reach out. And then I sent them another email. We tabled it. If you have any questions or comments, send me anything in writing. So I haven't heard anything from any of them.
I personally don't feel like any of the changes we made are detrimental to the operation that they're running.
Neither do I.
And I think we just nail this down personally, but I don't know.
Well, I
other
think it
people's-
speaks volumes that nobody from the planning board came back and said they didn't like anything. So,
No news is good news.
yeah.
Right?
Silence is acceptance.
Make a motion to accept all changes.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Lindsay, do you have a copy?
What's that?
Do you have a copy of it that, like, where you can accept the changes? Do we sign it? Is that?
No,
do we sign
no,
those?
no, you guys, I believe you've never signed it.
Okay,
So I'll just
we just vote to.
take
be
my
good to-
markup one
And say, here's the
and
final
say,
copy.
here you go. Yeah.
Okay. All right, look at us, including all this unfinished business, I love that. New business, Eco Main Wrap Household Hazardous Waste.
Jess,
Oh, yeah.
do you think it would be a good idea to sign it?
We can. I don't think it
I
hurts.
think it might. So that it's not confused with, as it didn't come across the board's table.
Maybe
yet.
I can just add a line like approved by select board
Yeah.
on date.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
I'll just
Yep.
bring that by.
That's
that's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
thank you.
That's a good,
Yeah,
good call. Dave.
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I appreciate that, thank you. Now on to household waste.
Yes. So this is something that Randy had asked me to do a little while ago. Because our transfer station is not licensed to take household waste, to store it or anything.
Hazardous waste, sorry.
Hazardous, yeah. Hazardous household
Kind of cute.
waste. Well, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
So, 9 times out of 10, when somebody from the town brings something like that to the transfer station, it ends up in the trash because that's the only place that we can throw it. So once a month, what's that?
You can do that.
Well, I mean, where else do you put it? It,
Like,
I
okay,
mean, it
sorry.
just ends up, well, no, I'm not saying that like you bring it to the transfer station and they throw it in the trash. Like people just put it in their
Oh,
household
okay. I
trash.
thought you meant like the
And then it
transfer
gets
station
thrown
was like,
in.
just throw it in the trash.
No.
Okay. But then I'm
no.
like, if they turn them away, what are they gonna do? They're just gonna throw it on the side of the road or
Yes,
something,
and they would
so-
probably keep it
Yeah.
if they thought that that was going to happen. But yeah, so
Okay.
people just say, oh, I've got this paint, and they just put it in their household trash. They tie their bag up, it goes to the
Yeah,
trash.
okay, sorry. I
So-
misunderstood.
Yeah, no. Riverside Recycling Facility on the first Saturday of every month takes hazardous household waste. And so I had Lindsay print this out for us in our packet so we could see it, but also that it would be attached to the packet online so people could go and see. It has a list of all the cleaning products and automotive products, lawn and garden, flammable products, pesticides, painting stuff, and then miscellaneous driveway sealer. And it has the time, so 7:30 to 1 p.m. You just pack it in your car, you drive up, you don't even get out of your car. They just guide you through. So I might be there this Saturday.
Is there a cost for
There
it?
is a cost, yes, and it is, I think it's on the second page.
$6.50.
It's, yeah,
cents per
$6.50 per gallon for liquid and $3.50 per pound for solid waste. So,
Heck, did I miss that?
Second page, on the back
Yeah.
of the first page at the top up here.
But it
There it
is-
Put 'em on e-card.
Okay, you can,
it is much nicer going there than going in the trash.
Right.
So,
Do they have any, for any of these products that such, take paint?
Yeah.
You know, you take it, you put it in some kitty litter, it stiffens up.
yep,
Is that an acceptable form to go to our transfer station?
Yes.
As trash?
yes.
Is there any other, do they have a list of things with the,
Like right way to dispose of them.
with, yeah?
At our transfer station?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Well, I just rattled off one, so we don't have any others?
Yeah, I only know, and only because now I'm speaking of, I have had paint that was very little, dumped kitty litter in it, it was dried out. Morris let me throw it away. I don't know, honestly, if that's how it was supposed to be done, or if then, because that container is technically recyclable.
Is that a question you can ask?
I can ask, yes. Yeah.
Because I was always under the impression you could.
I have done it, yeah.
I think that's how it was recommended to be disposed of up there. because they didn't want
And I'm
paint.
wondering if
Yes,
they have
'cause you
more
don't want it,
recommendations
yeah.
for more products.
Yeah, that's,
Right.
I will, I'll ask that, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Riverside
this is
Recycling.
From,
Yeah, on the back page, 910 Riverside Street, Portland, Maine. Yep, on the very bottom.
Yep.
Cool. Good to know. Okay. You good?
Yes, I am good.
I didn't
Yeah,
want to stop
sorry.
if you had more.
No, I'm just writing this down so I can reach out to each of you.
And then comprehensive plan committee, I know we have a report. Did you have anything you want to add about it or just highlight or?
No,
I read it, it's all.
I'll just kind of let, I don't know, I can't even remember if I put it on here or not. I mean, I think everyone can read online what the report is. I did a summary of, this was the last section, so everyone understands. We've been working with Southern Maine Planning for, I think, almost a year now. And they've given us chapters 3 at a time. So this is our last section. So previous, we had ones on history or, blanking on the rest of them. So this was the last section. These are draft right now. So our committee is going over to them to see if there's anything that we find that's maybe we have questions or we want fixed or maybe condensed down a little bit.
Yeah.
So at this point, what happens is those 9 sections will be combined together. And I think that's part of the budget from this year that we're still on. The funding that we are asking for, which is why, it's important we get that one. It's the next hard stuff that we're doing is called the map. The
future land use.
future land use map. I can never say that word. So future land use map. So what would happen is Southern Maine Planning would come and meet with us. And that's just kind of really where the really big work comes in. And it's gonna kind of be hard. So there'll be a big map on the table and we're all gonna be given a packet of Post-its. And this is where we look at this big map of our town and go, what do we do with it? What's gonna be the best use of our town or land? And looking at things of like a village area, which is why Chadbourne Field, hopefully maybe Park, was put into here. Because as we were looking, and even as a committee, we've been talking for the past year, that's one thing that our community lacks as a village. And that's something that we're hoping to, people want sidewalks, they want to be able to walk to things. And so when we start looking around town of somewhere where that work, in a very short amount of time, most of Goodwin's Mills is going to be historic because it really is the oldest buildings we have left in town. And this would be a place that you actually could have sidewalks going around, and there's a convenience store, and there's a church, and there's a ball field over there, and there's a town hall and a library. And so this might be like the gathering village area that people come, and hopefully someday there'll be little things for people to do. So as we were talking about that, that's when we were talking about the use of Chadbourne Field, where it's been, I think when I did Google Earth pictures of it, the last overview where I saw it was well kept and maintained and nice was back in 2013.
Mhm.
So it's been a stint. And then that's where you'll see the AI graphics. I get bored sometimes and don't sleep and do stupid things. These were just things that I asked it to form something. This one is just a kind of this is Kennebunk.
Yep.
Downtown, their ice rink. Just AI'd it a little bit. This was like maybe the dugouts turning into a little coffee snack bar, that are over there. Things like the water pad that Saco just put in downtown was super cute for kids. That's something that could be done over there. Just maybe there's a gazebo when you go meet your friend for coffee under the gazebo, because we don't have anywhere really to gather that's easy to get to, accessible for handicap. There's porta potties there already. So that's just where we were thinking village area, and where thought is the select board is looking at what to do with Chadbourne. Our thoughts were Chadbourne Park, maybe a farmer's market, maybe
Yeah,
gazebo.
that whole thing opened up my whole thought process when we
Yeah.
had that discussion that night,
Yeah.
and we walked it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we,
Yeah, because like Dayton has their farmer's market, so we could find a night different than, or a day different than another town does it. And those 7 vendors might want to come here as well. But that would be, again, just something that, you know, if you had a person in that position that would be able to man all that stuff, it'd be just such a great asset to the town. A lot of these people that have their shacks on the side of the road might want to come here where you're going to reach more customers than one spot.
When you think about too the presentation at the public hearing last week, and they were talking about sort of tying like a little trail and all
Yeah.
that, it just
Yep.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I think it does too.
Yeah, so just, you know, anyone listening, the budget, that's what we're asking for, because it is the biggest part, is that future land use map. So we're gonna put a sticker, this is village area. You know, there'll be 111, what are we doing over here? This is a good place for businesses. This is a good place for farming land and agriculture. This is our water source over here that we want to protect and make sure we watch the land around it and what's done over there so we don't ruin the future. Again, many moons away, water source down the road, you know, things like that, where a future transfer station might have to be public works. We're just gonna bring spitball together and put stickers all over it and talk about it, move things around. That's the big step that comes after we get the next funding. Once that map is done, there will be like overlays done over what we have now for a map. And that's what will be bringing the comprehensive plan to a close. This should be done, we were hoping before the close of 2026
Depending on funding.
on funding. So we're really are dependent on the funding that happens. If we get voted down at town, we're, I don't know. But anyways,
Yeah,
as long as, there might be tears. So as long as that goes through, it'll be hard work, but that map will get done. All these chapters we brought together, and we're gonna have a very pretty, beautiful, comprehensive plan that then can be forwarded on to the town to look at, and a roadmap for the town to follow into the future to keep our community the way it is.
well, and just to be clear too, because we're talking about people listening, like this is all a public process. This
Yes.
is all people can have input. People can come
Yes.
to meetings and participate in that. This is not just a 5 people deciding for the entire town. So
Correct.
I
Anyone
want
wants
to be
to-
clear about that
Yeah.
because yes, the town approves the funding, but it's
Mhm.
not a decision that's just automatically made. So I don't want people to leave.
Oh, no,
and
if
be
they
like,
want to
"Oh,
come during the map
Yeah.
process, our meetings are open to the public. They can come in with their Post-its. I mean, knock yourself out. We
Yeah.
welcome anyone's point of view and what they think. Because I'm not super familiar with certain parts of Lyman, even though I've lived here a very long time. There's certain parts I don't have a reason to go down there. So maybe they know something about the land or the history down there that would be really important for us to know. And we love that. So come have a little Post-it. There's a really important stream or preservation or something over here that we weren't aware of. And it's like even with the Chadbourne Park, again, in the notes I put, it's for the community to decide what kind of engagement they want over there and what they want to see over there. You know, we have the thought process that Bung, that's where all the sports fields will be. So it's a beautiful, open, flat area.
Mhm.
Flat's awesome. So I think it'd be a great thing to have a community place for people to gather beyond just at town hall. So any questions on the report or the information that we got from somebody in planning or anything?
No, I think it's
Don't,
great.
I haven't, I would really want a chance to delve into this again. Because I'm sure I missed something.
There are some
Somewhere.
things, like I found some of their stuff a little repetitive, so we're gonna try to cut down the rapidity that we have, that sometimes the same phrase is used 2 pages later, that we just like,
Yeah.
I like it more condensed, just.
There was a lot of reading in our packet this week,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say,
Yeah, and
and
these were just handed us not too long ago too, so we're still wrapping our minds around it, as well as those questions that were included for us to answer. So that's what we're in the middle of now, is the committee's answering those questions that were sent to us the best we can. We're gonna get together, pull those answers together, give them to Southern Maine Planning.
nice.
And that's our final steps until we can do the map,
Yeah.
after a town meeting. So that's where we are.
Hey,
Awesome.
we're gaining. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I did want to say though, for the comprehensive plan committee, just thank you guys for like always communicating everything. You've done a really good job, like putting together reports to keep the select board apprised of everything going on. And so I just appreciate, there's just always communication kind of flowing in for me. It might not get directly to the board, but if anyone ever has any questions, like what's going on with the committee, like I can say, hold on, let me look. So I really appreciate that.
And one thing to that, I will say, we copy the town manager on all our emails that go out anywhere in between ourselves. The super bonus of that is she is on point, because she'll catch, don't forget this, guys, or don't miss, she catches us the stuff that we forget, because it's such a long
Right.
process
Yeah.
that we're trying to go over a year. So she keeps the ducks and the cats and dogs all in line as we go through this. So thank you for keeping track of us too. She really does stay right on point.
Well, it's
and
nice.
I
Managing.
appreciate- I
Right.
I appreciate the disclaimer about AI too, because I think I'm seeing a lot of people writing up reports and doing things with AI and let it like taking credit for that.
Yeah.
And yes, like there's some general content that is your credit, but it's important to know, like it's to the point now I think in the world where most people can kind of tell like, oh, AI helped you with that. So just own it. And
That's
it's
right.
something so
We're not
simple
the
and
brain
little
child.
that it's just like, hey, this just got kind of pulled together. These are all our thoughts, all our content. Everybody reviewed it, but yeah, AI helped us generate some of this, which I think is important to acknowledge. And I think that
This is just a jumping off.
see a
Mhm.
need for some of that in committees moving forward. But
Yeah, we will continue to use that for.
that's awesome. I mean, it's a
That
great
was-
tool. There's pros and cons,
Yeah, that
obviously,
was-
right?
That was
like, hey.
Lindsay. That was Lindsay helping me with that again. Great town manager we have.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's see. I don't want to get out of. So we took A out of order on our new business for the fire chief. So we will jump in. We have a cemetery committee appointee as item B. Why did I think this person was already on?
They are. So it's a.
They
Did I put reappointment on there? I should have
No,
put.
it said,
Oh, appointment, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's a reappointment. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to take the town manager's recommendation and reappoint this individual.
a second. it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Stephen Carpentary,
Mhm.
who are now reappointed to the cemetery committee. Then we have Buckingham Park. Looks like there's a request to like a
Yeah.
continuation of the internet system because the router, right? Okay,
Yeah,
somebody
this
wants to
is.
take over the
I
router
kind
part?
of. So there are ways I can probably find some money if we just maybe take it out of our supplies budget, but it's just one of those things where I didn't even know this was a thing. So it just
Right.
sort of like landed on my desk, and I was like, oh, okay. So I just wanted you guys to be aware. There's this whole system out there that's more technological than I even knew.
It's also
but-
Yeah.
super helpful.
Me either.
Yeah.
But it also, to the point of all the other things that we're doing, important that the town knows and that the town has that piece. Right?
Yeah.
So-
So my understanding is there's a router, and then it provides Wi-Fi to a irrigation controller.
Yep.
So we own the controller, but our vendor is currently paying for the router services. And they're saying they don't want to pay for the router services. And nothing against the town. It's just
When do you know when this started to be used? Because I had never heard of one, but I mean, I'm not,
I probably wasn't here when
Oh,
it ever happened.
Heard
so
of
I don't
one here or
know.
Heard of one of
no, I dig trenches for irrigation. I don't actually like set up the controllers and do all that stuff. I do the grunt work to it.
Right.
But,
So the controller, the irrigation controller, sends all this information to the vendor. And yeah, it is convenient, but it all goes to the vendor, and it'll tell you, okay, if maybe there's an issue with the line, or there's a clog, or something's malfunctioning, or you can also dial back or turn up the settings. So if you have like a monsoon rain season, you can dial stuff down
You can
and
schedule it too. You
schedule
can
it.
Schedule it in a way so that it happens like daily. But then to your point, if it's rained for a week straight, you can just pause the schedule.
so that's how long it's been there. I don't know.
So my question, so this is for a router, which I get, so $199. But does that mean like, is that a one and done, or is that a?
Then you got to
monthly?
buy a service. So
Yeah,
let's see
that's
if
what
I
I was-
printed it off.
that's what I was wondering.
Like I understand and I'm totally fine buying a router. I just want to, like, what is the service? Because I
So-
don't see that on.
Anywhere from, I had to ask our IT person because I just wanted to see what options are out there. So you can use a bring your own SIM card, which is you can go through AT&T or T-Mobile. The vendor said they use a $10 a month program, I think through T-Mobile, and that seems to work just fine. Our IT person had recommended AT&T, but that's $20 a month, so you can go either way. And then there's a Ubiquity mobility management that he talked about in here, and I just gotten this today, so I was reading through it. What did he say
Also,
about
the
that?
irrigation system is shut down part of the year. So I don't know if we'd want to be paying
Oh, for the
for a
full year.
service for 12 months when we
Right,
only
we
use
should
it for
must
6.
winterize it,
Yeah.
right?
So we'd have to monitor that or set it up on a schedule. I don't know. Well, that one I'd have to look into. So like so the IT contractor said you're looking at like $200 to $259 a year just for the SIM card services and everything.
I guess I would want to see a more definitive number before I.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I don't know if you get a SIM card, can you manage it and say it's seasonal, or are you contracted for a full year, or do you pay up front? Like that
Right.
stuff I don't
Yeah.
know. So I can look into that a
And
little
then-
more.
Does the town have any accounts with T-Mobile?
I don't know.
Because I don't
recall seeing it on
I
the
don't
warrant.
see, yeah, I don't see T-Mobile being like, oh yeah, come in and we'll just give you this $10 SIM card a month.
We
I feel
have
like
an
they'd be like,
account
oh,
with
phones
A
and,
year, yeah.
you know.
we have an account with Ubiquity. And so you can get a Ubiquity's pre-installed. The standard, I would read you what Brendan writes, but it's super like IT weird. So that could be 1 gigabyte would be $15 a month, and we do have an account with Ubiquity. It might just be easier to manage on our end because we already have that account established.
Right.
Yeah, because then
So
we would
it's-
be in control of turning it on and off, like.
Yeah, might be easier. So that's an option too, is the Ubiquity. So it would be the $15 a month, and then the mobility management is $19 a year. So
And we
Whatever.
currently have phones on Verizon.
well, this is different. This is a SIM card.
Yeah, but you could put the SIM card on your phone package, like, so
Right.
if we already have Verizon and we have 5 phones that, different employees have their phones, you could add probably just the SIM card to that plan. And there it might be like a $10 a month or something like that. But
We'd have to have T-Mobile or AT&T.
yeah, because I can't see.
I guess I would just want to make
Mhm.
sure that it's something that we can do, like turn it off for part of the year.
Yeah, if it went through.
And then I would want to make sure that whatever the system is, not to say that, you would necessarily be the one to get in and turn the water on or off, but like, I would want to make sure the town has access to what we pay for, that's all.
So the controller and my understanding is the controller's in the concession stand upstairs, and the router unit is up there as well, which I did
Right.
see that when I went up there
I
last
just
week.
mean like whether it's an app or wherever you go so that
Well,
you could get into it.
So that's where I was going.
Yeah, sorry.
All the information gets sent to the vendor.
Mhm.
So we would have to request it from the vendor. So it gets into like a FOA thing. I mean, their
It's not
contract,
the end of the world.
Yeah,
We're
it's not the end of the
contracted. I'm just, like, I can click open my app right now and know how much water's on the baseball field. That's all I'm saying, like. And
yeah,
not that you would ever necessarily want to. I'm just saying, like, if for some reason something went south, like, I guess
Yeah.
worst case, we would just shut it all down and figure it out.
preferably the way I would set it up is that since we own the controller device, we should have an account, whatever that, I don't know what it
Like a
is,
login
serviced
or-
on.
yeah.
Yeah. And then we give access to that account to the vendor.
Right.
So then say maybe the vendor's contract is up or we don't renew or whatever,
Right.
we can remove that access, give it to the new vendor or whatever. But I would like us to be the hub for that.
That was
and- yeah.
you just said it better than me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, but those are things I just don't know because I'm just
Right.
learning about this whole thing is out there and I didn't even
Me
know
too.
when it got installed and you know, yeah. So I'll have to look into it a little more. But I just wanted you guys to be aware. I mean, we do have money for it, so I guess it's just figuring out partial year and if we want to do mobile or ubiquity. So
Yeah.
I'll just figure that stuff out and keep you guys updated. Or if something comes up like a weird snafu,
Yeah.
we'll bring it back.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll talk about that. Dave Alves, Butternut Park donations and the ECM material that's in buckets behind.
It's in buckets behind. So
We'll just
we received another donation from Dan Cause Construction for trucking in Dayton Sand and Gravel for some 1.5 inch gravel that was installed up at Butternut for the 2 main trails leading down to the water.
Nice.
Holly, Kevin, and myself worked on a weekend to apply that and do some water diversion there. But thanks to Dan Cause and Dayton Sand and Gravel for that. But we also have the potential of donations of 3 loads of erosion control mix or chips, which is what's behind you, to use as a cover for the tree roots that are down on the pines. So I guess I'm looking to the board to say a couple of things. 1, do you want to do it? 2, which product would you like to use?
I think we should do it, and I think we should use the erosion control stuff.
I concur.
me too.
You too.
Look at that.
I agree with Dave.
So,
Woo!
so that's a deal. So once
Party
again,
on.
then I'm gonna thank, because Dan Cause Construction is going to deliver
Yeah, that's awesome.
the erosion control mix, which is gonna be donated by Bullier Logging.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
thanks to all of the
Yeah.
above, and thanks for the direction.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
for
Thanks for putting in the work over there.
Yeah.
That's
It came out well.
for you.
Oh, if I may too, it's
course.
not on the thing, but I did see a email on it. There's a couple of tanks there. I don't know what, I'd love to know what that property was used for years prior, but they're like grease tanks. But they're the covers are broke. So, and they're sort of in the woods, but they need to be dealt with. We need to do something, implode them.
How big
fill
are
'em.
they?
One was a
Okay.
decent size, like with 6-7 holes. So it's gotta be taken care of. Somebody's gonna
Do you-
not even think about it, walk through the woods.
Do you want to take care of it? Do you want to? So you just got to figure out like, what are we going to do to take care of it? If we need to buy materials or contract a vendor to fix it or whatever, figure out the cost. And then I can look at the budget and see if we have something we can work with or if we need to look at other routes. All I need from you or Parks and Recs or whoever.
That's what I just.
Well,
thought.
you mentioned it, so I'm putting it on you.
Yeah.
You brought this up. Can you look into this?
And you said, it's not on the thing.
Yeah,
Here.
you walked right
right
into it.
in.
So-
Yeah.
By the way, your truck's fine.
Sure.
So can you just lay out a plan of how that's going to be executed and how much it'll cost and get me quotes, please? Thank you. All right.
So,
You're never gonna
can
do
you,
this
I'm
again.
having a hard time spatially in my head trying to, they like septic tanks or
Larger.
they're bigger than?
Yeah, and it's more like a several chambers, so that tells me it's like a grease type container. I don't know, was there ever a restaurant or something lodge there that served?
They're like a lodge.
There used to be a hotel.
There was.
There was a lodge there.
Was there?
There's little pictures of the old
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on the
that
back
would be
of,
really interesting.
what was that? It was on the back of one of your reports or something,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
It was big.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if it was that
I'll get
spot.
together with Holly and Kevin and see what we can do.
What's the standard practice usually for something like that?
Well,
Oh, never
So
mind.
let's not.
I'm just curious. I don't know. So
you can, in most towns and states, you can implode and fill, sand fill. We'd have to check into that.
yeah, okay. Let me know if you need a hand.
Okay. We're gonna review and approve the meeting minutes from May 19th.
Make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We will move on to payroll warrant number 52 in the amount of $29,633.02.
Sorry, I stepped on it.
That's all right.
Get
So
your-
moved.
I'll second it.
Oh, any discussion?
We'll get our 2 cents worth.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Accounts payable warrant number 53 in the amount of $678,590.04.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, I'm gonna sign some stuff. Oh, just so everyone knows, that letter that was in our email packet's in here to sign.
Is that 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
It's 7:15.
You guys are doing very good.
Wow. Yeah. Did well. Good job, Jess.
Oh, thanks. Later one, it's okay. These ones to get going. Okay, now we're holding on the code of conduct until we reword that.
Yeah, I'll
Yes. Okay.
reword it.
No,
and
I just
then-
didn't want to give the wrong
maybe
one.
have
I've
one
been
last
trying to be
round.
mindful of what I'm actually passing around here.
I did not print off the.
I'm just putting them there. So
Do you want me to print off
What?
the hand? No.
Personnel policy.
Yeah, I can just print off the sign off page.
That'll be good. We'll sign it if you do that.
you know, man.
Thank you, ma'am. Just gonna print us one more. Oh, Lindsay. Lindsay, do you want me to just, I have one in here, right? Oh, probably. Never mind, sorry. Trying to save paper. My bad.
We are paper generators.
I had like this thought at the beginning of last year. I was like, I'm kind of do it without the packet. Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
That's right. It's okay.
We didn't have packets quite this intricate when I was on the board before, and I find that it's really makes
It's
it.
helpful
Yeah, very.
to have it in front of me for sure. I don't need that. Look at this. This conference is at my work.
There's one in there that you didn't sign, Vic.
That Vicky didn't say?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you intentionally not sign something? Or did you
No,
just-
I did not. I
Well,
voted for
know.
everything, and
I
I
thought so too.
no, I thought I signed everything. I'm sorry.
You signed that one.
I thought I signed everything that came to me. Slacker, yeah, that's me.
Signed that one.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Oh, it's because it's the litter. That's why. It was
Oh.
a weird slip flop.
Yeah.
And Lindsay's just. putting
Actually, I
this
thought it was
signature page
part,
for
I thought this
personnel.
was a cover letter to the one under it that I signed.
Oh.
And what was that? Didn't you say?
Lindsay's just printing out a copy of the signature page for the personnel policy.
Oh,
Because the one that we have in our packet says draft, so we can hang on for
Yep.
just a minute.
I just sent this to you.
Then we can have a real productive output here.
My husband doesn't go to bed early because I forgot my house key.
Oh, wow.
I sent you a picture of the big building.
Dining hall.
Yeah.
Then that's roughly where it is
And
too.
then, and there's a chef, hut. This is,
Really?
So
this
crazy.
is Northlight.
Wow. Look at that.
This is.
Fantastic.
Couldn't divert the runoff
Ah,
water.
that's an interesting picture now, isn't it?
Yeah. There's more.
What don't you see?
Uh-huh. Well, that's just it. There's more.
That's great.
I'll send you the page it's on.
What do you see there?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Superimpose,
Thank you.
Michelle, we should superimpose their faces.
Before.
Perfect. Yeah. It's perfect.
Beautiful.
This chair like makes a noise every time I move because it's that like full leather. Which way I'm moving, like,
So is this your last meeting with us?
I mean, like I said, I'm
Except for the
committed. I'll
workshop.
come to your workshop.
Yeah, but-
And I come to annual town meeting.
oh, yes, that's right. Okay.
Can't count me out of
Yeah,
that.
no.
You've
Good
been
time.
committed?
Possibly at this point. I take it day to day. My daughter asked me something about something like 3 weeks from now this morning in the car, and I was like, nope, not happening. We're not talking about that.
Sounds logical to me.
All right.
Motion to go.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
So.
I think I'm gonna sing my eyes from now on. I'm gonna break out in song. Yes.
Okay.
I've been
Float your boat.
my